just work on yourself every single day. Cut out the negative people out of your life, no matter who they are, even if they were your own parents. I'm not saying that's the case. My parents are very supportive. I love them to death.
Right.
But all the negative people in your life, just cut them out and start working on yourself.
Welcome to Clicks and Bricks Podcast. We talk about the entrepreneur mindset.
If you get one shot at this, what kind of shot are you going to take?
If we forget who we are, they're going to forget who you are.
You've got an adversity story that's out of this world.
Everything from that Main Street brick and mortar to that billion-dollar manufacturer.
How you doing today, Ivan?
I am doing great. How are you doing, Ken?
I am fantastic. Thank you for joining us. We're super excited to learn a little bit about you and what you do and how you help businesses and individuals out in the world. But before we jump into what it is that you do, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from and how you make it to the United States?
Absolutely, Ken. Well, thank you for having me. I am from Serbia. I mean, I was born in a very small town, 13,000 people, where everybody knows everybody, that type of a deal. I always felt like there is something more out there for me, like I don't belong there. I always wanted to live in the States. I always wanted to live in San Diego. It was the city of my dreams for so long because my hometown is, it's a valley. So a lot of fog in the winter, very cold winters, very hot summers. So, terrible weather. That's how I got to San Diego. Tried to come here many, many times. It's very hard to get here when you're Serbian. Tried to get a J1 visa. That's a student exchange. And that one actually went well for 7 days. After we applied, me and my buddy, US government passed a law that students who are almost done with their studies can't go anymore. And they just kicked me off the program. So that was kind of rough.
Were you in the States when they kicked you out, or were you
No.
over
I
yet?
I was there. I was supposed to come here, but they changed the laws, and I only had one exam to finish my studies. So they just kicked me off the program, just like that.
Oh, wow.
Then it was like a few really bad years for me and my family, and then it culminated in 2014 with me getting cancer. So
Oh, wow.
survived that, and it's really true. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, I want to say, because I left that stage of my life as an absolute champion. My mindset was never stronger. Um, Got married in 2015. In 2016, me and my wife, we played the diversity visa lottery. I don't know if you are familiar with that.
A little bit, not drastically, but
Basically, U.S. government gives 50,000 green cards to all the world, and it's a lottery process. It's free to play. Everybody plays it. There's millions of people play, so it's really a
Right.
lottery. And we played that in 2016. In 2017, um, you're supposed to check yourself. You get a confirmation number if you have been selected or not. So 2017 was another really, really bad year. My uncle died of cancer January 3rd. My best friend died in February 27th. He was returning from a wedding drunk. His car was bad. He fell out of the car and the car crushed him. He left behind a 1-month-old baby girl. It was just terrible. Then my grandfather died shortly after. So just terrible year. So I even forgot to check if we got selected or not. And then August the 3rd, I still remember the exact moment. I was sitting in front of my computer and I said, I haven't even checked this. I mean, it's a long shot, it's a lottery, and I haven't been very fortunate in the past. So I typed in the number for myself, nothing. Figured I typed in the number for my wife, and it said, you have been randomly selected for further processing. I couldn't believe it. I was so happy. I'm getting goosebumps right now telling
Right.
you this.
now
I was so happy. I started jumping around the house. I told my wife, we're going to the States. We're going to live in the United States. Do you know what this means? And she's sitting on the bed looking at me like I'm insane because she was 7 months pregnant at the time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, telling everybody that we have been selected. I think my father didn't even believe it. He thought it was like a scam or something. So in the beginning, nobody believed it, but as time passed by and as we started filling in the paperwork and scheduling the interviews at the embassy and all that, it became real. So that's how we ended up here. We landed May 28th, 2018 in LA, and one of my best friends actually waited for me over there and drove me to San Diego. So
Wow.
we came with a 7-month-old baby. We got another baby girl August of 2019, which was born on my birthday, no more, no less. So I got the best gift and I lost the birthday at the same time.
Yes, absolutely. My son's birthday is 2 days away from mine, and I definitely lost it. But I'm very, very grateful for it. So it's a remarkable story. Now, when you win that lottery, if either spouse gets it, do you get to come over as a family unit then?
Yes,
so,
your immediate family member, so you get one as well.
Well, congratulations on that. You know,
Thank you.
I love hearing that story, and I feel like in America today, you know, a lot of people talk bad about this country, and I love to hear your excitement about, oh my gosh, we get to go to America. And I've got, you know, friends from all over the world, and the perspective of somebody coming to America, you know, to live for the first time, even as a teenager or an adult, is so different than the feeling that I get from somebody born and raised in America, right? They like to talk about all the bad stuff and all that things that there's bad in this country. There's no doubt about it. I think the greatness comes in the foundation of the ability to change and the opportunities and those kinds of things. As somebody from the outside that came in, do you feel like you hear people talking negative about like that there's not opportunities in America? And if you do, how bad does that frustrate you?
I don't.
Okay.
As much as I thought I would. I mean, it might be the circles of people I go.
So you just stay off of Twitter completely.
I don't have any social media other than LinkedIn. I'll tell you that. So
well, that's why you don't hear it.
Yeah, I don't know. So it's the States. As you said, there's a lot of problems here. I don't want to get into it. I don't want to get political. That's not really not a good thing to argue about. But it's still, I would say, the best country in the world for business. And if you want to succeed, the sky is the limit here. Like my dad did not believe me how much I was making as a simple server when I started here, because I had to start immediately working 2 jobs to support my family, and I couldn't really choose what I was going to do. I'm an IT specialist, but you're coming, you don't have a credit score, you have no history, you have nothing. You have to start from scratch. So when we paid our apartment, bought my car, bought computer, furniture, everything we needed, we were left with $500.
Okay.
So I needed to start something immediately, So
how old were you at that time when you got to the States?
Well, I'm 34 now, and that was 4 years ago, so I was 30.
Okay. Had the new baby been born yet when you got here, or?
The first one was born. She was 7 months when we got here. My second one was born in 2019. So a year.
So the time you found out, it took about a year. By the time you won the lottery, it took about a year for you guys to get everything together and move to the States.
Yeah,
about right?
Something like that. Yeah.
Roughly?
Yeah.
Okay. And you get here. Did you have a job lined up before you landed?
So yes and no. Because I was coming with a baby, I couldn't really, just come here and be like, hey, here I am. All right. So
there's a ton of challenges there.
Yeah. So I started looking for, some people who can help me. And I got connected to 2 guys who lived in Serbia in a town really close to my hometown. And since everybody knows everybody, a few of their cousins live in my hometown. So I got their numbers and I talked to them. One of them found an apartment for me. Another one was a co-signer for me because I have no credit score. Nobody's going to give you an apartment. Then a third one found furniture, even crib for the baby, got it all inside, put it all together. And then another one found me 2 jobs that I started working my 6th day in the States. I mean, he got me interviews.
Right. Yes.
But it was up to me to get the jobs, But, my English was good, so they just hired me on the spot. But I am forever grateful for those guys. If there wasn't for them, it would be really, really hard for us.
That is fantastic. And I'm so happy that you find this gratefulness in what a lot of people just take for granted, right? Living in America, having these opportunities and things like that. Now, after a while, you're in America, you go to work for WestPac Wealth Partners. Can you tell us a little bit about your role with WestPac?
Yeah, sure. So let me just start from the beginning of how I ended up here.
Okay.
I already told you that I'm Serbian, and I already told you about my tragic story with my friend who died. So those are some things that just naturally pushed me to work for WestPac Wealth Partners. In Serbia, we never get to see taxes, right? It's something that's not in our daily lives. When you negotiate your salary, what you see in your paycheck is what you get. All the sticker prices in stores, tax included. So pretty much nobody deals with taxes over there. And then when I came here and started working and started my business after a year, when I saw half of the money I make is not even mine, I thought to myself, what the hell? So at WestPac, that is my primary focus, saving people money on taxes through some strategies that are really, really advanced, so to speak.
Right. So just real quick, in Serbia, then there has to be taxes, right? Because the government gets their take on everything. Are they just not? That's on the employer, or is it government companies?
It's VAT, which is already included in this, like a sales tax. That's already included. So
right.
Employer is going to pay for your tax, and it's very, very minimal.
Okay.
And so you never get to see it. There's no personal tax liability when you're employed for somebody. You never see that.
Okay.
And even if you have your own business, that's not. I mean, pardon my French. The government will screw you other ways, but taxes is not one of those. So
okay. I understand. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. They do it a little more deviously.
Yeah. Yep.
Or a little more under the cloak. But
let's not go political.
All right.
So the plan for me here was when I started working in restaurant industry, I wanted to give myself 5 years to work hard, save a lot of money, and figure out what it is that I actually want to do for the rest of my life in the States. After a year, I started an upscale event planning company, which is still active. I have a partner there, and she does most of the work. So it's like, mostly passive income for me.
Right.
It was really good. We did a breakfast party for Mitt Romney in his house in La Jolla, in his house on the beach. So that's just telling you how far it went.
Right. Yeah.
So through that company, I met my current CEO in WestPac, and he's actually my countryman. And I did his 40th birthday, and get this, he has the same birthday as I do. So we just started talking. It was I guess it was meant to be. I don't know. I don't believe in fate, but some things just happen with a reason. And he when he told me just how much they help people and how much they're making, I was like skeptical for a moment. You can't really help people and make that much money. It doesn't make sense. But I was still fresh in the States. I still had that Serbian mentality. Because there's a lot of corruption there, like I said. But he said, if you want to do this, learn the business and you'll figure it out on your own. And the more that I learned, it's 100% true. He gave me 6 months to pass 4 really hard exams, which I did. And even though I was working every day, taking care of my family, I studied every day, and I passed all those 4 exams in time. And he was like, "Okay, you're a serious guy. The job is yours. You can start." So, and that's what I've been doing for over 2 years now.
Fantastic. So I know it's a challenge to raise a family in St. Louis on a waiter's pay, much less San Diego. I'm sure it's still better pay in San Diego than it is in St. Louis. So you start an event management company. I'd like to talk about that too a little bit, but then you still have that company, but you're passive there. You're not actively managing that business anymore. And now you are a financial advisor, basically, for WestPac Wealth Managers, but mostly focusing on saving it on the tax dollars, right?
Yes, that's the thing. Whenever you mention like wealth management and financial advisors, What's the first thing you think about?
On financial advisors,
Yeah,
I mean, the ones that hit me up the most are trying to get me to, buy into their portfolio.
that's exactly it.
Yeah.
So we are not assets under management driven. Our philosophy is income under management. So what I mean by that is cash flow. We want to help everybody optimize their cash flow, no matter how much they make, so they can keep most of their hard-earned money in their pocket.
Right.
That's the idea. It's not about the investment. It's not about the product, any kind of product. It's about the strategies and the process that we have that we take people through, and then they realize on their own, oh, I didn't know this was possible. I can do this. Wow, thank you for showing this to me. When I hear those words, I know I did a good job.
Absolutely. Cool. Alrighty. So focusing on saving the income that I have and letting less of it go out back out the door, I think is a great thing. Can you tell us a little bit about, you're working, full two jobs, service industry kind of stuff, hustle culture is very common in that kind of world. And you're going to start an event management company that becomes pretty successful now, is passive income for you and your family. Yeah. Can you tell a little bit of the story about how you made that leap for that first investment, right? Which is scary. You're going to have to take some money that you're making that's currently paying bills and put it towards this new venture that you really don't have 100% guarantee that it's going to work out for you. Yeah,
that's a life of any business owner, I would say. Huge risk, but huge rewards as well.
Right.
The thing about that business is, my partner and I started it because we were working for another restaurant, exclusive restaurant here in La Jolla, San Diego, and when that place shut down for the reasons that are not relevant right now.
Right.
My manager, who is now my partner, called me and she said, I've seen your work ethics. I see how honest you are, how reliable you are. And I had an old business. She did this on her own a while ago. And she said, I want to restart that. And I want you to be my equal partner in it. And I want to work a few years and just retire. And I want to leave everything to you.
Wonderful.
So, yeah, I think people see through the BS of others, and I am full on honest about anything, and that's how I gain people's trust. And and I like, things happen to me you wouldn't believe it. Like, this is what happened this year. The guy I mentioned that donated a lot of money to charity, he and I connected on LinkedIn, and we started talking, and he said, hey, you're in finance. I have this huge tax liability. I need to figure out, what can I do? Can you help me? And I said, of course, that's what I do. So I said, these are your options, right? And I gave him all the options he can do. Only one of those was to work with me so I can make some money, right? But I always tell people what they can do. And from the conversation, I realized he's a great benefactor and a good human being. He likes to donate a lot to charity. And then I said, and these are charities I'm involved with in San Diego. Would you like me to connect you to them to see what they're doing? He was like, yeah, sure. So I did, and he donated a lot of money. He came for dinner because he's from Colorado in January. And of course, I was invited because I was kind of the connector there.
Right.
And he told me, I like you. You didn't try to take my money. We actually did something great here with this charity. I really like what these guys are doing. And I want you to be my contact in San Diego, and I want to expand my business in San Diego. But I need a car here. I don't want to rent a car every time I come here. And I said as a joke,
right,
well, I have an extra spot in my garage. As a joke. Tomorrow, he calls me and he says, go here and here. I just bought a car. Pick it up. They're expecting you. If you need it, you can use it as it's yours. If not, just keep it for me in your garage. The guy bought a 40,000 SUV that's just sitting in my garage right now. And I knew him for 3 months. So that's the kind of trust I get from people.
Right.
It's just unbelievable.
Wonderful. Yeah. And I agree that if you just blatant honesty, I get accused a lot of times from friends and family of kind of being blunt and abrasive, but I don't have a better way to get it done. And sometimes things are hard to say, so I just got to get them out there. Right. But the honesty is the only way to go. And I agree. People can see right through any kind of BS. So love the founder story. Love how you're doing what you're doing now. You know, being able to set up a partnership that's going to, you know, you helped get started, and you're going to really see the benefits of that when she like better benefits when she retires. I'm assuming that you guys are setting up processes today to let her exit and not be working there full time, which would be more staff and things like that. So new level, new devil. But you said something in your intro that I'd like to go back to and talk about a lot, because I like to talk a lot about adversity in business and overcoming adversity, because, you know, there's people that have the mindset to jump into business. They're going to take risks all the time, right? No matter what, because you just have that mindset. So, but then there's the guy that does that and then runs into some adversity and doesn't really know how to handle it. And you're going to run into adversity, not only in life, but in business for sure, and in life. But you had to do this living in Serbia, trying to get a visa, having baby coming along, and having cancer. That's a lot to deal with. Do you have any like tips or tricks on how you dealt with all of that adversity? Not even at that point, I'm assuming not even seeing a light at the end of the tunnel, right? Like, it's got to be really, really challenging. Do you have any tricks for the audience on how you dealt with it and got through to the other side?
Well, there's no really tricks to it. It's just, you know, the only thing that we can control in our lives is how we react to things. And I know it sounds, you know, whatever, but it's the truth. And it's hard sometimes, you know. I'm dealing with two little kids right now, one of which is autistic, and it's really hard. It's sometimes you just can't stay calm from what they do, you know. But the only thing we can do is just,
yeah. I have an autistic son, so I'm
what I'm talking
wildly
about.
aware of your challenges.
So sometimes, you know, I have to take Xanax to calm myself down, how much it can go, you know, really, really bad. So we just need to work on ourselves, I would say, and the mindset is the key. Mindset is the absolute key. As I said, after almost dying in 2014, I completely changed the way I think, and I just look forward to the brighter future, and look where it got me, to the city of my dreams, and I actually have the job of my dreams as well. So you just need to think positively and just work on yourself every single day. Cut out the negative people out of your life, no matter who they are, even if they were your own parents. I'm not saying that's the case. My parents are very supportive. I love them to death.
Right.
But all the negative people in your life, just cut them out and start working on yourself.
Yeah, I've asked this question to a lot of entrepreneurs that say exactly what you just said. Cut the negative out of your life. And I've even asked a couple of them, what if you love that person? And the answer is always true. You got to cut them out. And if you don't cut them out completely, you at least have to reduce the amount of time you spend with them, because that negative mindset is contagious, man. And it's dangerous.
And positive mindset is contagious too. So surround yourself with those people.
Absolutely. You know? So
when I came
do you find yourself slipping off of that positive mindset sometimes?
Sometimes, yes, but I try to, you know, try to get back on. You know, it's like at this time, the kids are the biggest problem, because they come first. You want them to be good, right?
Yes.
So we just got
they're
diagnosed.
Still young, right?
They're still young. We just got diagnosed a month ago, so we're dealing with all the services. And you know, my wife doesn't drive. That's a huge issue here in California. So everything's up to me. And then my younger one is 2.5. You know, terrible twos. I mean, she's the devil. She's like, simply put, she's the devil right now. So it's getting better day by day. And I mean, now, like you said, now at least I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. So
yeah, and autism is not a death sentence by far, right?
No, absolutely not. I mean, and my girl is really mild. They said that she will be just fine. She just needs some help to, you know, overcome the barrier of language.
Right.
And she will go to regular school in a year.
Oh,
so
wonderful. Yeah, my
He's
son's
very
completely
mild.
nonverbal, 10 years old, never said a word in his life. And
Oh wow, sorry to hear that. Yeah.
it is sad and enlightening and wildly educational, right?
Mm.
and
Yep.
I've learned more about life in general from my son at 10 than I've learned from anybody else on this entire planet. And I
There
hope
you
that
go.
you find the same from your autistic child, because they know so much about the universe and how
Oh, yeah.
things work that we don't comprehend. But
Yeah.
they struggle with some other things, and it's sad, but it's a blessing all at the same time. So
Absolutely.
congratulations on your journey, getting to your dream city, having your dream job, having another business that you've not even exited but continues to stay for residual income. I think that is all some pretty spectacular stuff, and coming from a place that wasn't the most nurturing by far, and then you still end up here with this great mindset, and that's phenomenal. So great job.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank
and
you.
hopefully we have lots and lots of more success in the future. Before we wrap up today, Ivan, if somebody wanted to work with you, how would they get in contact with you directly?
Well, they can visit my website, ivanjordovic.com. They can find all my information over there, or even my story of coming here, and they can book directly in my calendar, or they can give me a call. I'm always on the phone. If I don't answer right away, I'll call back as soon as I can. So
right. Okay.
That's the easiest way, I would say. Yeah.
Wonderful. And who do you think, if you could paint a picture of the person that you can help the most, who would that person be?
Help the most, I would say it's since financial advice in finance industry is very broad. So if somebody says they're an expert in a lot of things or everything, they just really don't know what they're talking about. So what I specialize in, what me and my team specialize in, is highly advanced retirement plans.
Okay.
So I would say an ideal client would be a very successful business that has a lot of profits and a big need for tax deductions. And
Okay.
what we can do for them is we can reduce their liability, but by putting money back in their pocket through these plans. So, when your CPA tells you at the end of the year you have to spend all this money, you need to buy a car, just give me a call. That's how I got my latest client. He called me and he said, you know what, my CPA told me I need to buy 2 cars. How much money we made this year? And I said, okay, let's talk about it. You don't need to spend anything. I'll put it back in your pocket and we'll take a dollar for dollar deduction. Everybody
Fantastic.
wins, but the IRS. And as a joke, I say, IRS calls me Ivan the Terrible. And my wife calls me that too. So.
I hope it's a joke from your wife. Fantastic.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's a person, in their 20s out there in the world today. Maybe they're in Serbia looking for the lottery, or some other country, trying to get the lottery, or, they just got a diagnosis of cancer, but they have a dream and they don't see a light at the end of the tunnel. What advice do you have for that person?
Just think big, put your head up, work on smaller goals each day, but have that one big goal in your mind always, and focus on that, and focus on what it is that you actually want to do when the success comes. So that's also very, very important.
Yes.
I always say, who needs millions of dollars here? Like, you can have a really good life with a lot
Rather have
less.
millions of days than millions of dollars.
There you go. You need freedom, and then what's the point of having all that assets? Like, why? My goal is to give it back, to help people, to give to cancer research, to autism, to and as you said, there's a bunch of people back home who I can help a lot from here, and the success that you can create here. So
Absolutely.
Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, that would be fantastic if you helped other Serbian, men and women to come over here and start families in the United States. Such a great story, such inspiration. Thank you so very much. I think it's very big, folks. If you have a dream and you don't think about it all the time and really make efforts to it, you're just going to get what life hands you. Sometimes it's going to be the dream. Sometimes it's going to be crap, and you're not working towards it. You just have to eat whatever life hands you. And I'd much rather be trying to get something specific than just doing whatever comes my way. I mean, sometimes whatever comes your way is fun, but you don't get to choose it then, right? And if you're working on something specific, have that goal in mind, that big dream, and work towards it every single day, but also appreciate those small steps along the way.
Vision. It's the vision. Men without vision perish. I don't know who said that, but it's a good quote.
Absolutely. Ivan, do you have anything you'd like to leave the audience before we go today?
I don't know. Like maybe be happy with what you have. Just, everything is a point of view. Just think of Ukraine right now. That's all I can say.
Right. Absolutely. We have it so lucky here in the States.
Yeah.
So much opportunity, and it's so easy to take it for granted, but it's all really, really great stuff. Even the breath that we have, not everybody has that. There's people right now breathing their last breath, and we have a lot more left in us. So thank you for your time today, Evan. I very much appreciate it.
Thank you, Ken.
That's it for today's show, folks. If you'd like to join my text line community, the number 314-370-2871. Get to work.